What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Wallet Monkey channel, where we give you all the credit intel you need to grow your wallet. Today, I want to circle back and talk about the FNBO Evergreen card and the Truist Hustle. These are two, I guess you could say, hacks or, I don't know, tricks or whatever that we featured on the channel previously. And I want to circle back and see how these things are doing now and see what's changed and talk through that with you. So understand that it's very rare that an actual exploit or vulnerability or hack exists on a site. Assume that they know what's going on to some degree. Maybe even they did this on purpose. They facilitated this in some sort of way to hit, maybe to get a bunch of new customers, to hit a certain quota. Maybe they got behind, with Truist. I don't really know what the deal was there because that's been around since BB&T. But assume that these things will not last forever. With how fast data travels and how many people jump on the bandwagon with YouTube videos talking about the same stuff, then these exploits don't last long. And it's almost like a negative sum, right? Because no matter what, you could, this stuff will change your life, some of it. Like being able to get in on these FNBO cards when they first came out and get a $15,000 limit changed a lot of people's lives. Let's not deny that. And you still get beaten up in the comments and, oh, you're wrong and you're lying and it never existed and it's not real. And it's like, holy cow, dude. So I don't know, shooting videos talking about that stuff, I think we're going to do a lot less of it because it's teaching people the wrong thing, first off. And then two, you still get beaten up in the comments about it. That we're making this up or something when we're not. So understand that the stuff doesn't last that long. And there's definitely a first mover advantage for you watching this. So if you're watching something in a video, it's better if you're actually only seeing that in one or two videos. But if there's 50 videos talking about it, it's probably dead and it's probably changed. So let's talk about that. How has the FNBO changed? In the beginning, you could pre-qual for, through their tool that they offered on the site, and you would actually get approved it's pre-qualling you for the personal side. You could get approved for the same limit on the business side. So you would just then go and apply for the business card, get approved, and you'd get the same limit that you just saw in a pre-approval for personal. As well as you could go and get multiple. You could just refresh the page, go through again, get another evergreen, 3, 4, 5 evergreens. And they didn't stop you. So those were actual issues within what they created here. And as people have pointed out, it's you start to see them commenting on social media, and they commented on our videos talking about, reviewing this. I was even in email contact with somebody, they knew what they were doing, right? This was a big social push. Don't know why, doesn't really matter. But they had the Ducks Unlimited card that they got rid of. And then this was a really, really great card that they rolled out at the time. So, again, it made its rounds. Every YouTuber talked about this ad nauseum, all over the FICO forums, all over the credit boards. So yeah, it's not gonna last because they're gonna either hit a quota or want to make a change because they realize that maybe they're not getting the kind of customer and clientele that they want. So all good things come to an end, I guess is my point there. So here was some of the data points that we had collected. There was an absolute ton of data points, by the way. And just look at this. 10K pre-qual, 15K, 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 18.6, 2K personal loan, 15K, 11.6, 18.6, 20K on 2 cards, 6,300. It seemed to be that you would either get 10, 15, or 18.6 was the highest. Now what's changed is they went back to all of the people that got multiple evergreens and they consolidated it and they closed down the other 2 or 3 or 4 accounts. And now it's just one card with 10K, not 40K across 4 cards. And then they even removed it from the credit reporting side. So that has been reported quite a bit as a change. Second thing is they completely closed the door on the business side. So when you're pre-qualling for the personal, has nothing to do with the business. So they shut the door on that. Whereas before, even the proof of income and the paperwork that they were asking for early on was nothing. It was nothing, dude. You could skate right through. That changed a lot of people's lives. Also, too, a lot of people that probably shouldn't have gotten that credit, that are going to abuse that credit, that are going to be bad stewards of that credit, probably got through as well. So as soon as that starts to happen, then they close the door or they make aggressive changes. Everything else for the most part is pretty much stayed the same. I think there's probably more of a disconnect between a pre-qualification, which you actually get. I've heard quite a bit in terms of the pre-qual, you get a certain limit, and what you actually get approved for is different. And, again, you see that a lot in actually store cards, believe it or not. So store cards, you get pre-qualified for like a good amount, 10, 15K, and you could get 2K, 1K. So that kind of sounds like that. But yeah, there can be a difference between what you get pre-qualified for and what you actually get approved for. All right, so enough of FNBO Evergreen. If you got in, congratulations. If not, then, pretty much that's changed quite a bit now. All right, so Truist. Truist, we actually talked about way back in the day when it was BB&T. And the video, I think, got like a couple thousand measly views. Everyone thought that it was a lie or that, I was wrong or something, but it was true. And on the day we actually released the video, after we had already talked about it quite a bit, it was in the original master credit lender list, which got circulated around before we even made it a blog post. So the data was circulated for easily 6 months, I would say, before we actually shot the video and released it. And on that day is when they closed down and shut down the websites to do the merger. So then SunTrust and BB&T merged and they created Truist. And I thought, there's no way they're going to keep that around. There's no way, right? Well, they did. And so at first, when the site came back up, what could you do? You could go and get pre-qualified, and you could get all 3 cards, the same limit on all 3 cards without a single hard pull. Again, this is life-changing shit, right? And so quickly that's now changed. And so now there's a lot more hard pull reporting. There's also people that are being requested to come in and actually provide your ID and other documentation to get the card, especially if it's the second or beyond the first card. Now, so I'm hearing interesting things here. I'm hearing that they've locked it down to just 2 cards, so you can no longer get all 3. You can get 2. What I'm noticing also is that the first one I'm hearing gets mailed out to you really quick, like within a couple days, and then the second one takes a really long time to get mailed. And a lot of times it's because people are missing an email or missing a communication from them asking them to come on down to the branch and verify their identity, their driver's license, show that, etc. And then the second card kind of gets like released or gets, mailed out at that point. So there's definitely some changes that have happened between the first and second card. It's still geo-locked to these states as we've listed in every single video. But now there's additional layers that I think are being implemented to slow this down. Also, too, I think people got really creative with their address. Like, okay, let's play that through. What would stop somebody from changing their address temporarily to a PO box in another state or to a friend's house in another state, and then changing it back once they get approved for the cards? I mean, I think at a like U.S. law level, I think that's fraud. But again, I don't know if people know that, and I don't know if they care. So they probably could have gotten away with something like that, to where they change the address, it registers differently at all the bureaus, then they go and get approved, and then poof, they're not even in the state. So people, I think, were getting around that geolocation as much as you'd probably never hear about this from Truist. They would probably never say that. So the reason why I think that is because it's really weird to me that the first card goes through smooth, but then the second card, they're like, yeah, come on down and approve, confirm your identity. That's kind of strange to me. Now, I might be thinking and looking too far into that. You can assume the worst, that some people were doing things like that. So Truist has changed. And what's weird is that all the way up until now, we've gotten like 0 data on the business cards that Truist has. So I'd actually love if you've got any data on the Truist business cards, share that below. And if you've got anything that fits in with what we talked about, FNBO or Truist, maybe you noticed that I missed something, feel free to jump in the comments and add there. And then if you like this video or just want to help this get in front of more people, hit the like button. And if you're brand new here, subscribe, hit the bell notification, turn it to all, be on the lookout, more videos coming soon.